You got all your signatures.
All right.
All right. Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and call to order. I'm not going to call to order yet. I'm going to close the executive session. No action was taken. And now I'm going to call to order this regular city council meeting for December 9, 2025. Please join me in a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, thank you for the many things you bless us with. Thank you for this town where we live. Thank you for the beauty of this place. Thank you for the kindness and generosity of the people who live here. Thank you for our first responders, those who watch out and protect us every day. Thank you for our military serving around the world and at home, protecting us every day. Lord, it's Christmas time. Be with those who struggle during the holidays. Bless them with comfort and peace. Thank you for all that you've done for us. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any announcements of community interest? Ma'am?
Great. Okay, as you guys, can everyone hear me? Can you hear me? I don't have any idea how to turn the mic on. It's not this.
It's on this one, closer.
Apologies, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
great. So, hi, City Council, Mayor Herring. After a whirlwind onboarding, I couldn't ask for a better partners in our city staff, Chief McCall, Kelly Hagmeyer, and all the leaders, and of course, Martin Greenwell, who is sitting behind the scenes, of course, as he always does, but is so critical to this community's success. I just have to give him a great shout out because he has been really great for my onboarding, and I'm so excited to be here. Just really quickly, I know we're going to look at community events coming ahead, but looking back, I wanted to share a few recent highlights. We have the holiday parade and running home for the holidays, 5K, Christmas cookies with the cops. And on our next slide, we just have a few event recaps to share with you. Am I supposed to do it? Okay. So we have our 2025 Holiday Lighted Parade winners. JM Masonry, Tybee Antler Band, Tybee Antler Athletics, and our nonprofit Volunteer Services Kerrville State Hospital. So we just wanted to make sure everyone got to see those winners one last time before the Holiday Lighted Parade is in the rear view mirror again. But really quickly again, we also wanted to share some event highlights with you all on the next slide. Okay. Oops. There we go. It was a great event. There were over 100 registered floats, and we estimated about 6,000 people downtown. There were over 10 earned media hits for us, and our Facebook post of the winners received 84,000 views, which was our fourth top post for the entire year, which is just outstanding. We also had two major event sponsors, James Avery and HEB, and we wanted to also recognize Kerr County Lead for their live broadcasting of the event. It could not have been put on without the success of our incredible team, Kerrville Parks and Rec, Police, Fire, Public Works, IT, and all the rest. So a big shout out to all of our city employees there. for running with the running home for the holidays 5K. There was a lot of creative wear, I am told, but you couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day. There were over 350 people involved in that day. And then on the same day, we also had Christmas cookies with the cops over at Arcadia with sponsors Hill Country MHDD Center and PAX Downtown with 140 very sugar happy, very sugar crazed kids. So, very excited to celebrate all those events. And then just a couple of items not on our slides, but wanted to give a quick shout out to. We had our annual employee breakfast where we recognized many employees, some reaching 10, 15, but even 25 and 30 years of service, celebrating the amazing loyalty of our greatest ambassadors, our employees. There was also a Santa sighting yesterday, December 8th, yesterday at our Butt Holtzworth Memorial Library, where there were over 100 participants, and we will be reporting that soon on Facebook. Earlier today, was the senior dance at the Dietert Center, thanks to our sponsors HEB, Dietert Center, and the city. Now moving ahead, just wanted to reiterate some important changes. As you all know, we have our new public safety facility, and the police department and our municipal court have officially moved in. We will do a open house community event sometime early to mid-January once they've unpacked all the boxes and Chief McCall stopped playing with the auditory system. And we will have a great time for all to attend. And then moving on, we have community news. Just wanted to reiterate a couple of really important things going on around downtown. We had our lottery for the banner sign up, which and there are still some banners available. So if you would like information about that, that's available on our website or by calling us directly. And then with Kelly, she is really focused on the Exterior Enhancement Grant Program. And I'm going to get that wrong. The TIRZ zone. TERS number one, there's $50,000 set aside for that grant enhancement program, and we want to make sure that all businesses in that zone have a chance to apply if they would like to do so. Additionally, our parks team is always working hard. Right now, they are assessing community requests, and we'll be releasing a survey soon on priorities for our Guadalupe Park. And lastly, we have just a few different events that are coming up. Glow Hike, Blue Santa is taking place along with Letters for Santa at the library, ages 4 and up. A deadline for all of you soccer fans out there, if you want to sign up for our Adult Winter Soccer League, that is December 19th. And then we have a trout restocking event happening at Louise Hayes Park before we have some city closure days before the holidays. And I believe that we have one more community interest announcement to make. Chief McCall?
Mayor and Council, just wanted to pass along some recognition that we received last month at the Impact Awards in San Antonio, sponsored by the San Antonio Business Journal and San Antonio Area Foundation. They presented a certificate of appreciation to the first responders of the city of Kerrville in recognition of bravery, dedication, and selfless service during the July 4th, 2025 floods. And we thought the important reason to present this here is because on July 4th, our entire organization were first responders. Normally you think of police cars and fire trucks showing up as first responders. That day they showed up in pickup trucks from utilities, pickup trucks from Parks and Rec, all of our support staff that responded to help support all of the operations that day. So really it was an award for our entire city organization. We were proud to, myself, Chief Maloney, several representatives of Parks and Rec, as well as utilities and public works, were able to go and receive the award. We were proud to do that on behalf of the city of Kerrville, and wanted to thank all of you and all of the city organization for all of their support on that day, and pass along that recognition that they all earned.
Anyone here have an announcement? No?
I'm gonna steal a little thunder because I see some of the ladies here, and also, Mr. Junker with River Hill. Sunday, is there still room, John, or do you know? So Sunday at, 11 o'clock is a registration, and then there's a golf tournament that benefits Blue Santa. Mr. Junker started this last year with River Hill, giving all the proceeds back to Blue Santa. Last year was put together in 3 weeks, and I think we started a little bit earlier this year so we can have a bigger turnout. So if y'all are interested, please reach out to River Hill or the Kerrville Citizens Police Alumni Association.
Academy Alumni Association.
Thank you. So, or Rose Bradshaw at So Fast Printing, I'm gonna throw her out there, so, and we can get you the information, so. But it's a great cause for the kiddos that are a little bit less fortunate.
Thank you. Kent, anything? Brenda?
Yes, Kerrville Pets Alive will be hosting an adoption event this coming Saturday between 11 and 2:30 at our Safe House campus at 2102 Memorial Boulevard. The dogs are from Kerr County Animal Services and their lives are at risk. Please consider adopting a dog rescued locally and saving a life over the Christmas holidays. KPA is going to be sponsoring the adoption fees, the spay-neuter surgery, the vaccines, and the microchip. So you can see those adoptable dogs on their Facebook page. So please consider saving a life.
Anything else? All right, we'll move on to presentations. Julie, do you want to start this one?
I would love to. So good evening, Mayor and Council, and guests. I'm honored today to recognize some people who have been basically our right hand for the last several months. And before we move into the next step, I thought it might be important to bring them here and recognize them. If we all, Matthew and Angel and Ira, can you come up, please?
Come on up front.
So these guys, Matthew Perrell, Ira Guzman, and Angel Carvajal, they have been extremely, I would say, above and beyond helpful as we've navigated some super difficult times in the last several months. And so they're available, I can honestly say, on a Saturday morning if I'm working on something. I'm affectionately going to say in the evening in pajamas if I have to call Ira for something. But here every week in person, holding our hand through this, looking at procurement. Angel was face-to-face with me on the evening of July 5th and saying, hey, we need to work through these forms today. We have to get this stuff out, and how met with our leadership team and really navigated basically just making sure we didn't drop the ball in the beginning and all the way through. So I want to really thank them for what they've done. I know it's their job, but I can't tell you the above and beyond efforts that they have made through this process.
Has a little certificate of recognition. I want to read just a little bit of it. Recognition for support. Each has delivered outstanding support to the city related to the administration of the FEMA Public Assistance Program following the July 4, 2025 flood disaster. And above and beyond. That's what everyone I've talked to says, you are above and beyond. So thank you. All right. Matthew? Let's get it, hold it up so we get a picture. Thanks, Sabrina. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping. Would you like to say anything? Any words?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the city of Kerrville for this recognition, Julie. Thank you, it means a lot. I came here from Arizona. It's what I call home, to assist Texas in regards to the 4th of July flooding event. And I couldn't do the recovery without everybody in the city along the side of TDM to make sure that we're doing the best we can to help your community recover. I understand that it's been very hard I mean, we were boots on the ground immediately, and just seeing the impact and just how quickly everyone gathered together to just work as a team has been wonderful. So it is a privilege and an honor to be in Texas, especially being assigned to City of Kerrville, and to keep moving you forward. So again, thank you everyone, and this means a lot, so I appreciate you. Thank you.
Jim?
Yeah, I'll just say quick for something real fast. Without Ira kind of working towards with FEMA as well, you know, with TDM kind of hand in hand, we've been stuck to the hip for the last 5 months or so. But this is not an individual awards team. I know with TDM we're a big organization. You know, we've kind of come together to help the city, not only the city but the county as well, to kind of make sure that you know the citizens in the local community of Kerrville can kind of get back to that new norm, and you know, be in that beautiful place that you know everybody loves here in the Hill Country. But that's it. I really appreciate it. Angel, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate the recognition. I appreciate the recognition. Thank you. Ira said it a billion times. We can say it a billion more times. Thank you. Really appreciate and want to recognize Julie and her staff for all they did, right? We might be the ones answering the call, but she's the one calling. She's asking those important questions. She's doing the hard work for the city itself. And so thank you to Julie, the team, mayor, council, and everyone here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next will be the state, federal, county, and contracted partners.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. No, I need the help.
Yes. Oh.
Mr. Hornis.
Mayor, I'd like to just spend a moment and follow up on what Julie did and recognize a separate side of what we've been dealing with and have the folks who helped out with the debris cleanup, if y'all would stand up and
Come on up.
meet the judge up front.
The judge isn't here right now.
Oh, the mayor. See? Every meeting's your first meeting. We're not going to have everybody represented because I just checked my last meeting, and we've had these every day seemingly for months, and now they're a little less, but there's 67 people on that call, and every single one of them has a role to play. And so from TDEM's side, it's impossible to name all the people, but Sherry LaCour, Judy Lucio, Zach Hood, the chiefs over there that have been instrumental in this, and then our own local folks, Shory Harmon and some of the other guys up here. John McNeese and Joseph Generella, those are the folks from Debris Tech. Those were the people who were doing a lot of the calling to the homeowners and getting access to both Ceres and Ashbridge.
Debris Tech?
Debris Tech, they're not here. They're not here tonight. So he said, "You want me to fly in from Mississippi?" And I said, "Please do not do that." From Ceres, though, Jay Zielinski is here right in the middle. And Ceres was our main contractor within the city limits. So this was all separated out between Thompson Bridge and Ashbridge went west towards Hunt and back towards Thompson Bridge. And Ceres went from Thompson Bridge down towards Comfort in that direction. But for our sake, Ashbridge also is helping us out because they helped remediate the soccer fields. So they're working through that process as a contract under TDEM to get that back to the condition it was in previously. We got these guys here. Bo Ainsley and Jay Zielinski from Ceres helped us out so much. Jamie Robbins and Francisco Garcia, who were here from Ashbridge. And then you can, if you got one for TDEM, you can hand that over to, there it is.
Then I have one for FEMA, actually.
And FEMA, I didn't think anybody was going to show up today,
I have a lady from FEMA. Come on
but we
up.
have, finance can do it. You can come on up for them. That's been an interesting process because we tried every which way to figure out, like, is this a category A? Is this a category B? What is a category A? What is a category B? We all learned a whole bunch of new language, and FEMA folks were very helpful in that. So, and we love you for understanding it. Thank you. And so with that, Mayor, I just wanted to offer our congratulations from the staff, from the city, and from the community, and we appreciate y'all.
We want y'all to know that we appreciate you. We thank you. And the certificate of recognition says, the city of Kerrville extends its heartfelt gratitude to the dedicated members of the Debris Task Force who responded in the aftermath of the devastating July 4th floods. Thank you for being here. I feel like we called for help and the world showed up. So thank you very much for all you've done. And does anybody want to have us say a few words?
No, thank you. I mean, it's been an honor to be here. I'm from Southeast Texas, so I was here on July 5th. This is my 22nd year in the debris business. Every mission is different. This one to us was not a debris mission. This was a sensitive recovery mission. I think we personally planted 50 new cypress trees along the water. So that we made this place our home, and you made us feel like we were home the whole time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to say what a pleasure it's been here serving, the city, the county, the people here. Been here almost 5 months now, and I love this area. I would probably relocate here. The class of people that you have here, the community itself, it's truly an amazing place, so thank you. It's been my pleasure, so.
Thank you.
I'll just echo what Matthew and Angel said. It's been a pleasure working with the city of Kerrville. Obviously with debris, there's a lot of moving parts, and Michael with all the meetings, we're toning it down a little bit now, but yeah, just a lot of coordination, so I just appreciate everyone. I'm here on behalf of the Debris Task Force, which is made up of 10 recovery coordinators and specialists back at headquarters, and they've done an incredible job of pushing through communication and making sure that we're all on the same page, so this is for them.
Sir, actually, I certainly appreciate getting to know everybody during this whole incident, and I've learned a lot from this, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work beside you, Mayor, and everybody in the council, as well as the rest of the community. As a local here, I'm your local county liaison officer. I certainly appreciate the recognition, and I look forward to continuing to work with you all. Thank you.
Actually, we do have a FEMA debris team that is working alongside of TDM and all of the supports that have been out here. Thank you guys on behalf of FEMA. It has not been easy. It's been a very interesting way that TDM has handled the debris removal of this event, and so I've heard nothing but wonderful things. And as you know, I am actually program delivery manager for Kerrville and Kerr County, and so I've been working alongside monitoring everything, and I'll make sure that the debris team for FEMA gets this recognition and that they know that all their hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. And again, we couldn't do this without TDM and all the wonderful contractors that have been supporting the cleanup and getting you guys back pre-disaster the best we can. So.
Photo, we're good. I'll get the photo already. All right, hold up the certificates. All right. There we go. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks again. Thank you for
Guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Christmas point.
Every year, the city sponsors a Christmas poem contest, and we have 3 that stood out, written by Pauline Rogers, Randy Weber, and Valerie Parr. And are anybody here? Come on up, please. Come on up, please. What would I like to do, if it's okay with you two, is read a little bit of the proclamation, and invite you to read your poem to us. Is that okay? All right. Whereas the 5th citywide poem search for a poet who could capture the essence and awe of the Christmas of Kerrville began on the 18th of November, 2025. And whereas the citizens of Kerrville came together and shared their written memories, thoughts, visions, and stories into beautifully written poems celebrating Christmas in Kerrville. And whereas of the 10 submitted poems, 3 poems were selected for best, capturing and describing what a Christmas in Kerrville is all about. And so with sincere gratitude, we extend to Pauline Rogers, Randy Weber, and Valerie R. for giving their incredible talent to the citizens of Kerrville by capturing the true joy and spirit of Christmas in Kerrville for this and future generations to enjoy. Thank you very much, ladies. All right. Are you going to read the third one?
Yes, for Valerie.
Good, thank you. Who wants to start? Would you like to start?
Oh, I don't care.
Here's a microphone. Come up and read your first poem. Thank you, and make sure to tell your name.
My name is Pauline Rogers, and I live in Kerrville. And I just want to thank everyone for inviting me here because it's been a joy writing this poem. And I'm originally from Massachusetts, a little town by the name of Sandwich, and it was named after Sandwich, England in 1637. We were incorporated.
Wow.
And so, and I married a Texan, so what else can I say? So this is the poem I wrote. Christmas in Kerrville. Kerrville is the name of our beautiful town, and we're hoping your destination will be to the lovely hill country of Texas. You'll love it here, you'll see. To walk our Guadalupe River with the trees all turning gold, you'll be making beautiful memories that someday will be told. Christmas is a special time for all of us to see the lighting of the courthouse and the beautiful Christmas tree. The reflection of light from the island in the park is breathtaking as can be. And to celebrate our Lord's birth brings joy and happiness to me. So come visit our little town of Kerrville. You're as welcome as can be, and celebrate God's gift to us with our Kerrville family.
Massachusetts.
I'm Randy Weber. O Spirit of Nativity, descending soft and deep, we bow our hearts this Christmas, our promises to keep. We pray for every neighbor whose tired hands pitched in, who showed us how to fiercely love when chaos rushed within. Bless the selfless helpers, pillars strong and true, whose labor forged a bond of grace that carried Kerrville through. May warmth rest on the shoulders that helped the heaviest lift, the heroes who defined for us the true and lasting gift. Bless every light that stayed on through that summer fright, and boots soaked through with sorrow, yet still found strength to fight. May hands that offered casseroles and cleared each broken pane be filled this Christmas sevenfold with comfort after pain. We thank you for resilience, built of stubborn wild grace, an unyielding spirit shining so brightly from this place. May courage they revealed in us become their sure defense, the certainty of goodness, the heart's true permanence. Let their legacy be hope that holds through every tide, the Christmas truth made human where divinity resides.
One of our poets can be here tonight, and so we have a guest reader.
Guest reader on behalf of Valerie R. Christmas in Kerrville, time is here. Round up all the Christmas cheer. It's time for those who really know that this is Christmas in Kerrville year. Sleigh bells everywhere, mistletoe we share. Don't you know that lights aglow Kerrville presents are so fair. Children in Christmas Kerrville light, the glorious of Christmas sight. So we see that this could be, it's beautiful at Christmas, Kerrville's night. We know what all we see, smiles are presently, stockings for me and for you. Presents are there for us too. Kerrville's tree, lights burn so free. Kerrville and Christmas and Kerrville time is here. Round up all the Christmas cheer. It's time for those who really know that this is Christmas and Kerrville year.
All make sure that she gets this. Let's get a picture. All right, get a picture. All right, that was lovely. Thank you.
Sorry, one more. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you. Susan,
Yes, sir.
that's the last.
And correct.
All right, if you're a graduate of the Citizen Academy, would y'all please come up front? I can tell by your blue shirts you're part of the Citizen Academy.
Oh, this class.
Because I'm one too, actually.
Get up there.
Hi, Lisa.
Graduation.
More room. I'll scoot over if you want. Get everybody up there.
They didn't do a very good background check on this one. Hey.
How many in the audience know what the Citizen Academy is? Bill?
I just forgot the citizen
I've been
part.
through it. The Citizen Academy tries to take people who want to know more about how the city works through all the departments. And it's led by Charlie, who's right here. You have a few words for us?
Yes. Sorry. Can you see me and can you hear me? So before you, it's the fourth class for Citizens Government Academy. So Citizens Government Academy is for this session, it was a 10-week program. So it gives citizens a behind-the-scenes look at how the city operates. It gives citizens a chance to learn, ask questions, and really connect with the teams that really keep the city running. So, and we have a great group in front of you.
And Charby does a great job, doesn't she?
She does.
All right, let me hand these out. Rose, I know Rose. Who is Cindy? Cindy Breen here today? All right. Brian Burke. Tony Carver.
Right here.
Thank you. Lisa Ferguson Casciola. Of course. Thank you. Mark Cowan. Right here. Thank you. Or is it Cowan or Cowan? Thank you, Cowan. Laura Davis. Right there. Pamela. She's not here. She was here. Linda Kaiser.
Right here.
Thank you. It says Ramona, but I know you was Ramona. Frank. Thank you. All right, Marcia. Good. And Lloyd. Good. All right. Listen, what I'd like you to do is state your name and tell us something you got out of the program. Start with you.
Linda Kaiser. I'm actually in the county, not the city, but I've learned so much from this, and I'm so impressed with the city of Kerrville. Their organization, their intelligence, and just the way they run the city and the caring that they have for the citizens.
Mark Cowan. I think I'm just impressed with the sophistication of all the systems in the city. I would have never expected it.
Yeah. Tony?
Tony Caldwell. I really didn't want to do this class, and these ladies here said you're going to do it. And I have never been more thrilled to attend. I didn't want to miss a thing. I learned so much. And whoever says that old people don't learn anything, I've got a new one for you. If I was a little younger, I can see so many different career paths I would love to jump in and do. The city is absolutely amazing. Everything from the financing and the budget and how they plan to their IT group to GIS, and I have a grandson graduating next week with GIS from A&M. So I learned so much about how everything is done in this community, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I encourage anyone in the whole city and even the county people to come and see it. It answers so many questions. It opens your eyes. And thank you.
Of course.
So I'm Lisa Casciola, and my husband Jerry had gone through the Citizens Government Academy a few classes ago. And I remember every time he came home after one of the class meetings, he was just more and more so enthusiastic. So I said, well, I'm going to do this too. And now I get it. To echo what everyone else has said, just guys, Kerrville, we're in good hands with the leadership of Kerrville. You've got very highly intelligent and caring people, and what a great combination. But I would strongly suggest anyone who's the least bit interested in what goes on in your city, go for this. It really has been informative, and just, your leaders are just wonderful. They really are.
I'm Laura Davis, and I think taking the class, I learned a lot about how everything worked, and I'm just looking forward to our future because they've got everything mapped out, and I just hope I live another 30 years and can see all this stuff happen. So, and if you don't take this class, take the Citizens Police Academy class. That's a good one too. Then you'll find out how these guys got our back. It's very informative also. But thank you for everything that y'all do. I'm looking forward to our future.
Rose Badshaw. Actually, I was trying to take this one, the very first one. My husband took it then. But I finally got it, made it. Charlie blessed me. I can attest that the workings between the city and every department that they have is phenomenal. They work very well together and have a great coordination, and I was just very, very impressed on that fact. Besides, like she said, when my husband would come home, he'd just be chattering on everything he learned. So, and Coach.
Mona LeBlue. I too only live in the county. I shouldn't say only. I too live in the county and not the city, but I've worked here in the city for 20 years now. Just meeting the people who are actually making everything happen is amazing. Great people, great attitudes, great characters. Even our fellow students up here of the academy have just really made me feel like the city's in really good hands.
Hi, my name's Glenn Rowland. I have just gotten such an insight into how all this works. And, like the rest of my colleagues have said, y'all really need to take some time on this next class and hop in here and just see how transparent this city and the workers are, and actually just see how honestly everything works. So I recommend it.
I'm Marcia Sorreo. I've learned so much in this class. We've met a lot of people. We've learned how things run and how everybody, all our leadership here in this community really care about the community.
I'm Frank Sorreo. I have a much better understanding of how and why city government works.
Lloyd Wright, born and raised in Kerrville, away for 45 years, and it's a good way to get introduced to the city. Really enjoyed it.
My name is Brian Burke from Kerrville, and I can only echo what each one has already said, that we feel at the end of our sessions, we're definitely in good hands with all of our department leaders and all of the staff within the Kerrville area. Thank you so much.
Let's hold up your certificates and let's get a picture. There's a single picture to be tagged.
So I was actually thinking, could we cut maybe this way in half and go up there? And that way we could get
They're so wide.
Oh, sure. Go up there. That's great.
Yeah, can we get
But you have to stand. If you go up there, you have to stay up there.
Let's sit down. Of course. And then the rest center in here, and then we can get everybody. Apologies for the.
Good idea.
See, council people, you can stay. Is that okay?
You can be the real thing if you want. I can show you and tell you how to do Photoshop.
Charlie, we got you in the picture.
Come on, Charlie.
Charlie.
Okay. Yes. But I need her to, there.
Yeah, I don't need you to see.
And then you right there, and you right there. There we go. Every other.
Got two down there, I'll ask.
Charlie, I think you need to come over here.
Charlie, you're too tall for that.
Sorry. I was too tall, right? You too, yeah, too tall. Thank you, guys. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much for working with us.
Yeah.
There we go. Everybody get it?
Cheese, cheese, cheese.
I'm missing, can you move to your left just a little? Yeah, okay. Everybody's face. Would you notice if we were? Okay.
Thank you, guys. Let's see if I have one over here for you. What's your first name? Lynn. I'm sorry.
No.
No, we did a little practice run last week, and it's a tough job. We learned a lot.
All right.
Good. Good to see you. Good to see you.
That was it.
That's it.
I don't know, but I'll just.
Go ahead, please.
Well, not them. When they, yeah. Julie, before you start, I want to say something real quick. Y'all were up here a while ago being recognized by the city, and y'all were thanking us. I think we need to say thank you to y'all again for what y'all have done and been here for the last 5 months to help our community. You don't need to thank us. We need to be thanking y'all again. So thank y'all once again for being here. So I had to recognize you. Out of order, but.
No, it's fine.
Last meeting.
All right. I think our next item is 2E, financial update. Julie.
I didn't bring a poem to, so I hope this is not too terribly boring, but, there we go. Okay. So it's too early to report on anything for 26. So I just wanted to kind of bring you back an overview of 25. Remember, we're not audited completely yet, but we don't think there will be any more material changes compared to what Trina reported to you last time. So look at the general fund first, and you'll see the miss in revenue, obviously, and we've talked about this a lot, mostly recreation revenue, as we had to, close the parks for a while, and some things that we would ordinarily be doing, we weren't able to do. But overall, better than budget and expenses. And keep in mind, we did slow some things down the latter part of the year as we were working on flood response. So what interests you the most is probably a positive change in net position. So we feel pretty good about having, a little over $500,000 left after everything that we've incurred. Now, of course, we're not even close to being finished, but given our emergency protective measures are in this line item, that's a good way to end the year. This is just the charts showing you by category. We did go back and look at this, and I couldn't fit it on one page, but they do align very closely with the way we budgeted, especially on revenues. And year over year, those kind of align the same way. So, as we talk about building trends and things like that so that we can better project revenues for the future, we like to see it by percentage so that we can see that everything is lining out and we're building a forecast that makes sense moving forward. On the water fund side, we were better than budget on revenues, but primarily, again, we had a pretty heavy interest year. We had a miss on water sales, you'll see that, but we had some pretty severe restrictions there for the past few months. But given that we were in stage 3 most of the year, I would say that our adjustment to our water model with less dependency on irrigation is working, considering last year at this time we were $1 million short from that revenue. So that was good. Overall, $380,000 better in change in that position at the end of the year. So we'll be making some decisions on whether to roll that into fund balance or move that elsewhere as we move forward in the next month. And I didn't mention on the general fund side, in January, we will be bringing you a budget amendment for FY26. We have received the updated rolls from KRCAD, so we'll be making those property tax adjustments based on the updated rolls. So I should have mentioned that on the general fund side, and I didn't. This is just kind of illustrating what I was saying about the updated water model. So you can see Fiscal year '24, the orange there is that $1 million miss in budget. And then in '25, a little bit of a miss, but we were again in water restrictions for the entire fiscal year. So we're feeling pretty good that we are continuing to be less dependent on irrigation, and so we'll keep working on that going forward so we can make sure that we're aligning with budget properly. Development services, I did keep this one separate. I know we talk about this one a lot, and it's super volatile, just depending on what's going on economically in the community and those things. Their expenses are very constant for the most part. This year we had 63,000 positive change in net position compared to 300,000 miss last year. So I wanted to illustrate that just because you just don't know from one year to the next. This is one that we do the best we can to budget, but heavily reliant on permits for new development and those kind of things. So we do have in the '26 budget a new code enforcement officer that will be focusing on animal control and some other code issues. So I know they're in the process of trying to recruit that person right now. This is just illustrating the other funds. This is as you see it in your budget book, and we won't go through all these funds, but I wanted to show it as we've kind of wrapped up the year so that you can see how we ended revenues and expenditures and then any net change at the end of the year. So I pointed out the significant ones, and you'll see Library Memorial. We're completing the HHHC project, so that's been multi-year, so we fully expected to see that use of fund balance for that. And then you'll see the same thing in the hot fund because we had a transfer over to that project out of there as well. So everything else really aligned. The other thing to point out is you'll see the general facility fund and the water system facility fund and the positive change in net position there to the tune of about $1 million in the general fund. These have been the funds that we created in the end of '24 to really focus on future sustainability. So the money that we're tucking away through the budget process and putting over there and saving for larger expenditures later that we might need to make.
Julie, can I ask you a quick
Yes.
question? I was going to send Dalton an email to ask you this anyway, but now that you have it up, where would I locate in the budget where we've given our nonprofits grants like Arcadia Live and Doyle and?
So either in hot or primarily in the hot fund if you're looking for event-driven type things.
Okay.
They'd be in the hot fund.
Okay.
And if you need detail on that, let me know if it's not in the budget book. The other one is insurance reserve, that $5 million change net. I think we all know that is our primarily our policy payout for the flood. And so we just haven't expended all those floods. They will likely be transferred over to CIP or where our flood expenses are landing. So I know Trina went over this with you last time, so I won't go through the whole thing again, but I think it's important for the public to kind of know how money flows when we're talking about public assistance and reimbursement, especially with the amount of dollars that we're spending right now and the amount of dollars we're going to be spending in the future. So right now we're still working through review committee with FEMA. So most of our projects have already been pushed over there and are in the review process. So as those get obligated by FEMA, then TDM will receive those funds, and then we'll start the grant submission to start receiving eligible reimbursement. So we don't plan on this being a quick process. It's very thorough, but again, we have a good team supporting us through that, and so we'll be getting moving on those submissions as soon as we can. Quick update on the flood. So emergency protective measures, our full pending award right now, $951,000. I think we talked about last time, we expect about $713,000, assuming that all those expenses are approved. But we have been compiling our donated resources, including volunteer hours, equipment, donated meals, all those kind of things. And any of those things will be offsetting some of that. So we're hopeful that it will make up that couple $100,000 difference there and maybe reduce or eliminate our out-of-pocket for that project. So Bear Creek Bridge, that repair is completed, that $446,000 that we just spent or about to spend. We haven't actually paid that bill yet, but we will be paying it probably within the next couple of weeks. That will anticipate 75% reimbursement on that as well. And then we're happy to say we have been funded for our floodplain management and our $10,000 reimbursement down there. And that was for some inspections that Drew and his team had a consultant come in and do to make sure that we were compliant with FEMA. So other projects that are submitted, you're going to start seeing some numbers over the next few months as we start rolling into what things are actually going to cost us. Keep in mind, these are still heavily estimated. River trail repairs, that's something that Parks has really been working hard to get that back open and running. We're estimating about $2 million expense there. Louise Hayes Park, you heard from Jay at the last workshop, and that's going to be a huge redesign kind of project given where everything was located, so we don't really know. Shriner Park estimated at 1.5. We've just created contracts for the G Street guardrail, so that is out, and then a lot of things still happen at water treatment plant. But a lot of things are happening and work is being done, even though we don't really have everything tied up with a bow yet. But as we progress each month, I'll be updating those numbers for you. And then, of course, you heard the good news that Guadalupe Park has been fully funded by outside sources. So we've closed that FEMA project, and so that will be moving forward very quickly, I would think. So any questions on any financial related matters?
Questions?
Okay. Updated calendar, again, just to keep you all adrift of what's going on. We'll be submitting our budget award here in the next few weeks, hopefully before Christmas is our hope. Working on audits, so we've had a pretty heavy week this week getting that done, and then continuing to work on flood, and then we'll be hopping into budget really soon.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you all.
I prefer these presentations early in the evening.
Is there anyone in the audience that has
Yeah, while we're
questions?
still awake and everything.
Yeah, just be glad we don't that awake. We don't have 1,000 questions, but.
Well, thank y'all.
Thank
I don't
you.
have to be last, so that's good.
All right. Anybody sign up to speak?
No, sir.
Next item is the consent agenda. No discussion is anticipated on these items, and they're considered routine. They can be pulled from the consent agenda by a member of the council, by staff, or a member of the audience. We have one ordinance that needs to be read before, two ordinances need to be read before we vote, but does anyone have an item they would like to remove from the consent agenda? You good? All right, would you mind reading those ordinances in?
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2025-22, second reading, an ordinance deleting Article 2, Sidewalk Cafes, Chapter 30 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kerrville, Texas, and moving these provisions to Chapter 90, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places of said code, creating a new Division 2 of Article 2 within Chapter 90, said division titled Sidewalk Amenities in the Downtown Core, which comprises regulations regarding the use and encroachment of amenities onto sidewalks within the city's downtown core, providing for a penalty for violation of any provision hereof, providing for an effective date, and providing other matters related to the subject. This ordinance was unanimously approved on first reading November 18th, 2025. Item 4B, ordinance number 2025-25, second reading. An ordinance dissolving the City Senior Services Advisory Committee by deleting Section 2-91 Senior Services Advisory Committee of Chapter 2 Administration, Article 4 Boards and Commissions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kerrville, Texas, and repealing the ordinances which created and amended the committee. This ordinance was unanimously approved on first reading November 18th, 2025.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion then on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve items 4A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I of the consent agenda.
A second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. And it passes unanimously. Thank you. Item 5.
Mr. Mayor, once again, this last meeting, I need to recuse myself from this vote as it could be a potential business conflict of interest.
All right, thank you, sir. As he's leaving, would you mind reading in the ordinance for us?
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2025-26, second reading. An ordinance disannexing from the city limits land being approximately 79.4 acres, addressed as 1200 Shepherd Reese Road, out of the Horace Yeamans Survey number 575, abstract number 378, the Horace Yeamans Survey number 576, abstract 377, and the Mima Wilson Survey number 1471, abstract number 814. The land generally located adjacent to and between Thompson Drive, Spur 98, and Shepherd Reese Road, amending the boundaries of the city to exclude the land
directing the city to notify the Texas Comptroller of the change in boundaries, authorizing a refund of taxes and fees upon disannexation as required by law, and providing for findings of fact, repealer severability, effective date, property notice, and providing other matters related to the subject. This ordinance was unanimously approved 4-0 on first reading November 18th, 2025.
Thank you, ma'am. Is anyone signed up to speak on this one?
No, sir.
Mr. Paxton, do you have anything to add? We have a question for any member of staff. If not, is there a motion then on item 4B? I'm sorry, where are we?
5A.
5A, I got lost for a second. 5A.
I would move that we approve ordinance number 5A, under 5A, ordinance number 2025-26.
There's a second.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, so vote. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Item 6A. With whom shall we start? Ms. Seeger, please.
I think she started it off great last time. So.
Ms. Hagemeyer?
Hello, Council. Thank you again for allowing me to talk about this exciting designation that the City of Kerrville has received from the Texas Commission of the Arts for a Cultural District. Back in 2005, the Texas legislature, they voted in to allow Texas Commission of the Arts to have cultural designations which stimulate economic development, community vitality, with focal points of generating business, attracting tourists, stimulating cultural development, and fostering civic pride. There are currently 57 designations in Texas, and Kerrville is now one of those. How this process began, the Main Street Advisory Board had seen this as a potential for our downtown area to help emphasize all of the arts that we have. In November, Council approved for Main Street to submit an application. That application was approved by TCA in September. And then we come to you today with a resolution for creating the Cultural Arts District Advisory Board and their bylaws. The Cultural Arts District is the downtown core, which is laid out in the 2050 Comprehensive Plan. The goals of the Cultural District: attracting artists, encouraging business, addressing any needs that the community sees, any hurdles that we might have for the arts community, establishing this area as a tourist destination, preserving and reusing historic buildings, enhancing property values, and fostering local cultural development. So the City of Kerrville is now the managing entity for the Cultural District and is the primary liaison between the district and the Texas Culture Commission of Arts. Our responsibility is to submit projects for grant applications, submit an annual report. We will need to recertify every 10 years, and we also would submit any changes needed at any time to the district. There are 3 major grant opportunities. There's Arts Respond, which is more geared towards programming. Cultural District, which is the larger grant that is more for festivals, preservation, capital projects. And then Arts Create, which is every other year, and this is more geared toward operational support. So the Cultural District, the larger grant opportunity, so what they are looking for in that application is high quality art programming, focusing on visitors 50 miles away or more, enhancements to the Cultural District that make it more accessible, attractive, cohesive, signage, wayfinding, promotion, overall promotion of the district with website, branding, marketing, any type of organizational support for management, and capital improvements. Tonight, you will also see what the board responsibilities are, and they are responsible for creating the guidelines and standards of this district, in helping to improve the community with communication, advising the city or any other departments with opportunities to help our artist community, recommend policies and programs, connecting with local, regional, and national organizations, and pursuing other grant funding opportunities. With the resolution today, y'all will also be voting on the bylaws, which include the mission of the district, so harnessing the power of cultural resources to stimulate economic growth, and also the vision of this district, so partnering with businesses and residents, focusing on economic growth and stability through the enhancement of arts education, cultural tourism, and other sustainable initiatives.
Kelly, before you go on,
Yes,
in its
ma'am.
mission, you've got that the district program is to harness the power of, is it culture resources or cultural resources?
Let me see.
It might be a typo in the,
Yeah, I
It's
just,
in the bylaw, it says harness the power of culture resources to stimulate economic development and community vitality. That is page 1 of Exhibit B.
okay.
But we can change any.
Well, you were
any
saying
typos.
cultural, and I
Mhm.
was reading culture.
I think it is
So I just
cultural.
wanted to be sure that there wasn't
Right below it, it says that too, so.
Okay.
yes.
a small typo. We can
Minor
change
Yeah,
that.
we can make edits to that. Thank you. Also in the bylaws, it outlines the objectives of being a cohesive unit, stimulating economic growth, generating business, attracting tourism, and fostering civic pride, and identifying any market needs. Do y'all have any questions?
Any questions or comments? Ms. Siegerman?
Thank you, Kelly. She has been a tremendous help with all of this. This is a new adventure for our city and I think it's coming in just at the right time because I think the economic impact of July 4th has been rippled through our entire city, not just the downtown. But we'll start with one piece at a time, trying to make this 2026 a better year for some of these businesses and artists. So the board, I have a list of the board if you want to know who they will be. We had an unofficial meeting yesterday since we're not technically approved yet. But it looks like we have a good 12-member board, which, Mike, by the way, the resolution says 7, but originally it was 7 non-Main Street members and 4 Main Street, which was 11, and now we have 12. But anyway, we'll just need to make that 12 in section 1 of the resolution.
And then you'll have to change the quorum, because that's
Correct.
also listed in there also.
And I haven't done the math yet, but we'll do that. Well, as long as we're talking about section 1, the other thing that's different from Main Street is Main Street does require members to be property or business owners. And this particular designation does not. So, not anywhere that I've read anyway. Since it's really, I think it might actually encumber us a little bit to have that in there. We don't mind having business owners and property owners, but I wouldn't want it to be a burden on us someday where we have to have a majority of the board or something property owners, because as we have seen with Main Street, that has been challenging sometimes as well. Anyway, I'm really excited because this opportunity will be to start. We have our first grant application January 15th. So that's for $2,000 to $6,000 up to. We will need a matching grant, which we have talked to Community Foundation about helping us out with that because they have a particular fund that is designated for art. And one of the main requirements of our grants is that it ties in an artful way somehow in our city.
Elaine, go ahead and finish. I just wanted to say something to you specifically about the membership. You might want to consider just a up to 12 and a no less than 7, so you have a little bit of flexibility there because you're going to have years where you may never get a quorum because you've had some people leave and you haven't been able to replace them.
That
So
would
I
be a
would
good
consider
idea.
that.
Yeah, yeah, this year everybody's curious, and so there was
Right.
a lot of interest. And you're
Yeah,
right,
so
as
it
time
will
goes
help
on,
in the long run to have some flexibility.
Get that, Mike?
I would also just think of an odd number.
Yes.
That way, you don't
Well,
have to spend
technically, we have 11, because I am really kind of, well, I am the chair, so I guess we do have 12. So do I need to tell someone to get off to make it 11, an odd number?
It's whatever you all want to do.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. It grew to 12 before I realized it, because otherwise I would have said,
Well, you're making the appointments tonight, officially.
correct.
So,
Well, that's 12 then, so we'll talk. Well,
You can live with 12.
I think for this first year, we're going to learn a lot, and that's really what we're doing right now is just taking advantage of something that was pretty much given to us by the state, this designation. It's going to open up a lot of doors, and like I said, I think the impact of summer camps next year and various things, it's not just in Ingram or Hunt. It's our downtown core businesses and all around that are seeing a change in their business economy right now. So it's a good time to have something like this, and I'm working out the details. Let's see, we are working very closely with the CVB because we pretty much will be doing something very similar to what they already do. And Julie Davis was at our meeting yesterday. I think she's going to be very helpful with us when it comes to ideas like additional kiosks and things like that. We'll make them look artful, and they will be kiosks, but they'll look artsy. We do have to, any grant we apply for, we do have to have a one-to-one match. The map that you see here may change at some point to include some of our venues that were actually considered when we got approved, like the Callow Theater, things like that. It was just one of those oversights. And the map itself is very hard to read, so we want to try to clean that up, make that clear, and make sure we have it. You can't hear me?
I can't see it.
Can you
Oh.
describe what the different colors are saying? Because I can't read.
Okay, so the red line around that section of land is the downtown core and the cultural district that went in with the application to the state. And all the others around it were in the TERS, and they're called different things.
The culture is that first one you said.
The red line, right. So that is, and they have told us that they're very amenable to changes to that map as long as it's not a big change, which for obvious
tweak it.
reasons. So do you want me to read off the board members, or would you like a copy of the board members, or?
You want to wait till we get to the appointment?
Okay, that's a great idea. I guess I would like to, I've looked at the resolution, except for that one part. I haven't seen any other changes that I would make.
So the changes, the editing would be in the composition of membership.
Correct. And the property ownership.
You're removing the property and the business owners, okay.
Changing culture to cultural. Any other edits? Is there a motion then to approve resolution number 39, 2025?
I'll move to approve resolution number 39-2025, the cultural district bylaws and advisory board members.
Second. Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. It passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6B.
We do have 2 citizen speakers signed up.
Let's hear from the city attorney first, and then I'll call on those two citizen speakers.
Martin, are you going to put the presentation up? Thank you. Okay, council, you've seen some of this information before. I'll talk about the property and the history and ownership of Tybee Mountain, what's, I think, affectionately known as Tybee Mountain, and our interests and goals and the next steps. Property location is on the corner of FM 1341, which is, of course, is Cypress Creek Road, and Loop 534. The size, it's really 2 public tracks. Tybee Mountain is considered 8 acres that's been reserved over the years as a burial site, and then there's an unimproved road portion that's approximately 2.67 acres. And there's the location. You can see outlined in yellow, both properties. And then this is a little bit closer up. You can see the road kind of snakes up there, and then right in the middle of the yellow is the burial site, and there's an obelisk up there that designates Captain Tybee's grave, and of course he's buried there with his sister and his wife. And a cat.
And cat.
Sorry, yes, I need to mention the cat. Here is the survey that we recently had done, and this shows the acreage as the 10.67 acres in total. The 8 acres is the upper portion, the hill, and then the 2.67 acres is essentially the roadway area that comes off of the road, of Texas Road there. History is fascinating. I think Captain Joseph Tybee meant so much to this community, was the first mayor, gave the site for the first school here. He was the original owner of this property among a lot of the adjacent property. He married Ella, and they both died without having children. And then, so Susan Tybee, his sister, inherited the property, and she died, leaving no children as well. Again, she inherited the property from Captain Tybee. She sold the property, or sold property in this area to Charles Schreiner, but reserved the 8 acres as a burial ground, and that's in the deed. And her will, after she died, transferred the remaining property to John Mosby, who we really lost track of, although we know he died in Travis County. We know the name of his wife. We don't believe, at least there's no record of children. And so it kind of becomes what happened to the 8 acres. If she had that as part of her estate, did not sell it to Charles Schreiner, then arguably it went to him. And then it would go through his estate, but we've lost track of him. And then in 1940, the Tybee senior class purchased from Richard Flock, see how I learned how to say that name? Purchased from his estate much of the property, they thought, but the deed was never filed. And there are pictures of this, presumably a deed going between the seller to the buyers, and there was much fanfare about it, but no one has ever found the deed in the records, and we don't believe it exists. So that has become a question mark with respect to the ownership of the property. So we, KCAD over the years, if you ask them, they have no records on these properties. They haven't listed as there's no ownership. They have not assessed taxes. The county over the years says that they have, at some point they talked about gaining ownership of the property or clearing up ownership of the property, and they had it surveyed, and they've done some road maintenance. KISD, as you all may know and the public may know, the senior class each year walks up the mountain as a ritual, as a tradition, and usually when they do that, we know when that's coming, and we maintain the property and do some weed eating and some trash pickup and open the gate, but that's essentially the use. And so we're looking to really expand the use. I mean, we've put a gate up there to cut down on cars going up that Caliche Road to the extent that they can make it up there. We've done some maintenance in and around the cemetery site. Occasionally, there's trash, and so we do go up there and clean up the trash periodically. Obviously, it's got great historical significance to Kerrville and our founding father, and it would mean, I think it would mean, I don't want to act like I'm speaking for council, but I think there would be great value in the city or someone, obviously, protecting it, honoring it, maintaining it in a way that we could open it up to the greater public use. And I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that looks like. But if you walk up there now, you better have some sturdy shoes. And in some ways, it's a real it's sad because it's such a nice site, and it offers just great views of the city valley. And so I think, and you all can talk about this, if we wanted to, clear up ownership and work in ways to promote public use or greater public use, I think this is frankly, I believe, the only way to do it because the ownership is so clouded. Next step is to, again, work to engage the owners if there's any. We've done that, particularly, I should say that the city has looked at this project several times since at least the late 1980s. We've never found any owners. Part of the eminent domain action before you, and let me clarify, by adopting the resolution doesn't mean we're going to go to court tomorrow and file eminent domain proceedings. I want to be real clear with that. We would continue to, try to find out if there's any owners out there. Presumably, this will create some publicity around this issue, and perhaps someone will call or someone will say, hey, why don't you talk to so-and-so? They're a member of the Flock or the Real family, and so maybe we do find someone along those lines. But this would set us on a course to clearing up ownership to include the use of eminent domain at a future date. And it would authorize me, with guidance from you all that you've given, the homework that you've given me to do, to proceed, I would say cautiously with this endeavor. But if my only reminder to you all, if you're going to adopt the resolution, or there's a motion to do that, you need to use the motion that I'll show you in a second, and we need to take a record vote of your action, and that's all pursuant to state law. So that's what I have before you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How long has the city been maintaining that property, cleaning it up and dealing with the trash? How many years?
I don't know. I know since I've been here in 2001, I know that Parks Department has periodically told me that they've done that.
Okay, and there's no property tax revenue that has been collected from this property, I guess, ever, correct?
I don't know if ever is correct, but certainly in the period of time, I think, and don't quote me on this, but I believe when I asked KCAD for their records, they have notations in the file on these properties, but it goes back like 28 years that they've been periodically asked to look into this issue. And so since at least that time, and probably many, many years before that, no, you're right.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Hayes?
I just want to clarify, please. If we approve this tonight, that does not mean we still have work to do, basically. And if we find that, if we inquire about the appraisal value, perhaps was not, was higher than we think it should be. I don't know if that means another appraisal or just looking really closely at the appraisal itself. But so that's the only thing. I don't mind going forward with it, but I think I have some caveats because I think the appraisal value was more than it should have been, number one. And then we have no way to have restitution for the expense we've already put out for the last 24 years or more. So, I'm not in a hurry to agree to that value that they've given on the appraisal for that very reason, so.
Yes. I've heard that, and I'll delve into those two issues, yes.
Questions for Mr. Hayes?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So how did this theoretically get off the tax rolls? Do you have any idea?
I have,
And what might it take to get it on the tax rolls?
well, someone,
I mean, can we not
private
assess
concern.
taxes against it?
Pardon?
I mean, whether we know the owner or not, can we not assess taxes against it?
Well, we wouldn't be involved in that. That would be a KCAT function. That's,
Well, but can we not find out about that? I mean, why?
well,
Because if we could put it on the tax rolls and the taxes don't get paid, we can go the steps at the courthouse and buy it.
I will look at that issue, but I think what they'll tell you, and I've had conversations with them about this, is they don't know who owns it. There's a presumption that the public owns it, if you will, so it's not taxable. And that's been their stance for a long
So
period of time.
Okay, so we have other public property, I don't know, what's an example of public property?
Well, all the property that we certainly own, all the property
The
the county.
city?
Well, those,
But they don't assume we own it.
the
No,
rest is
they
not
don't
taxed.
assume anyone owns it, but it is in the public realm, if that makes sense. And it doesn't necessarily make sense, because to me, it's either, you know, it either is taxed or it's not, or it should, you know, it's not because it's owned by a public entity or a private entity that's exempt.
And it's zoned as residential. I'm really opposed to the proceeding at this point with the appraisal that we have and with the, I mean, I don't think the city needs to be owning this piece of property. I think that efforts should be made to accomplish these things, and if the city can play some role to help some other maybe nonprofit organization or whatever that maybe wants to own it, manage it, and that would be fine. But I personally am not at all in favor of the city spending $230-some thousand and then taking on the responsibilities.
Mike, you helped me out on the issue we had with the Veterans Pathway. And it was a back tax deal. It wasn't very much, but didn't have to sit on the tax rolls for like 3 years before anything could go forward with that. And then I'm talking about that little triangle of land over off of Tucker or Turner, whatever drive it was, that's over there. It has to be on the taxes for a while with delinquent taxes for, and then we have to give due notice. 3 years, I think, is the right number, and then you have to go through the process. So, I mean, it's, and the other thing too is nobody owns it. So there's not really anybody to,
Tax.
I mean, we could put it on the tax rolls.
Well,
I'm
and
not saying that's
and
a
the
bad
city's been
idea.
researching this since
Yeah.
2018.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, how long are we gonna continue to do that?
You know, I agree with Mr. McKinney that maybe some other options might be out there. I don't wanna spend a whole bunch of money, the city and the taxpayers' money on this. But on the other hand too, this has been going on for over 20 years, looking at this with previous councils, and something needs to happen. And like Councilmember Seigerman said, if we do this evening, we're not saying we're gonna spend the money, buy it, and do everything. But it also, to your point, it would open up the opportunity for more people to say, I am a family member and I would like this, or whatever, correct? Is that right?
Well, I wouldn't say by virtue of adopting the resolution it does that. Hopefully, by virtue of having this discussion in public, a public meeting, it'll generate some publicity, maybe a news story or two, but, you know, who knows? I don't know.
So I have one more question. So let's say we did adopt this tonight. What is the next step?
Well, you mentioned the homework that I have, and so I would
Okay.
delve into those issues
Right.
and come back with some options on how to move forward and do those things.
Okay.
Maybe one of
So
the,
it still has to come back to us again.
maybe one of the seniors from Tybee, class of 19, whatever, would show up and say, hey, I was there when we signed the deed.
Right.
So,
And I should say, over the years, and I think the mayor can speak to this, there's been several, articles in the newspaper about the issues involved with ownership, lack of ownership, lack of public use, who owns it. And so there has been over the years, I mean, yes, someone from 1940 could remember, or a parent from whatever could do that. I'm dubious about it because, again, over the years, it seems like about every 5 years, the paper does a kind of an expose on this issue about, who's going to take control of that property.
Any other questions for the city attorney? Who's signed up to speak?
George Brody.
Mr. Brody.
George Brody, 1616 Glen Road. So kind of a couple of questions, but it kind of goes with what he was saying and what I think he was alluding to. But it's not just the cost of buying it, but you're taking on the responsibility. And I don't remember if the word road was put in quotes, but it really needs to be, because it's anything but. So, but it also kind of with what Mr. McKinney was saying, within the last year, catty corner to this property, the city helped clean up the one cemetery, but in order to essentially get out of perpetually maintaining it, a nonprofit was set up to do just that. So unless that's really what is going to happen here, I don't see the point of going forward in this fashion, because I don't think it's a public interest for the city to be a property owner of a cemetery. I also would encourage, and I know it's been done in the past, the only only group that really uses it is KISD. So in some way, I would try and get them, and I know that's been tried, but barring all of that, I would encourage council to seek to find a nonprofit, a creation of a nonprofit. Don't even have to deal with the ownership of it, because ownership means somebody's going to kick you off the property. That's not in place right now, right? So I don't know, there's a gate with a lock, but who charges us with trespassing if we go up there? Is there somebody? I mean,
It's public property.
Is it? I mean, it's not. I mean, we don't.
Yes.
It's
Right?
not private
Because I've gone up there. Am I trespassing when I go up there?
I mean, it's presumably, I don't think there's any no trespass signs.
Right. And so anyways, it's kind of a whole big ball of wax that I don't know that the city should be involved in at this stage. They should be looking. I think it's valid. Everything that's in there talking about. I mean, it's Tivy, right? So the cemetery, if we can take care of it, I mean, that gets said about places, how they take care of their dead and honor them is kind of a sign of how good the community is. So we shouldn't just abandon the thought, but I don't know that this is the path to solving that. So anyways.
Thank you.
Bill Rector.
Dr. Rector?
Bill Rector, 705 Water Street. As you may know, I have an interest in history. And no council wants to be known for using eminent domain. But I think that this is right and good and needs to be done. This is a historical piece of property for our community. It's a piece of property that people are not able to enjoy and utilize for the last 35, 40 years. It has the opportunity to become a park where people can enjoy a beautiful view, can see the graves of Tivy. It's something that can be utilized, showing pride in our community. And I think it is right and good to look seriously at doing this. I remember when I hiked up in 1960 to Tivy Mountain, no one knew who owned it at that time. And we're still in the same situation tonight as we were in 1960. And I applaud you for looking at ways to possibly clear up this and make this piece of property a useful property for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
No, sir.
All right. We have a resolution before us. We spent some time in executive session speaking about things which I can't repeat outside of executive session. There are some hurdles ahead of us. And I'm certainly open to hearing what the next step would be for this council. Don't all rush in at once.
Well, I'd like to make a motion, are we just discussing now, or is it?
We can just, you can make a motion and we can discuss.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, based on the conversation we've had and the follow-up that I understand will take place after this. It's better than what we've done for the last 20-something years. I mean, I feel like we need to do something, and I think we still should entertain the ideas that were brought up tonight about a nonprofit and somebody else actually taking ownership of this property other than the city. Because someone has to pay for those, people to go out and, take care of it and maintain it and fix the fence if it's a cost. It's a cost to whoever owns it. But I think for us to do nothing tonight, for all the work you've already put into it, Mike, would be kind of a waste of your time. And I feel like you've done a lot of work on this already. We've gotten this far. Maybe we still have a quarters of a way to go. But I would like to make a motion to approve this.
Okay, the state requires us to make a motion to that as shown on the screen.
I move approval of resolution number 40-2025 to include that the city of Kerrville, Texas authorize the use of the power of eminent domain to acquire the burial site for the purpose of continuing and further developing a memorial cemetery and public park.
Is there a second?
So does that mean that the city's gonna do that? I mean, it doesn't mean that we're committing the city to develop a memorial
It says
cemetery.
right there, the city of Kerrville authorized the use of the power of eminent domain.
Well,
Before we go to discussion, is there a second? I will second it. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Now we can discuss. Go ahead, please.
so that's it. I mean, this is committing us to develop a park and memorial cemetery. That's another step further than.
Well, somebody has to be able to do something, whether it's turn it over to a nonprofit, something. But, I mean, hearing from Mr. Rector, Mr. Baruti, everybody's got valid points. But, in 1960, if nobody knew who owned that property, that's at least 65 years that this has been a non-taxable property that the city has been maintaining. So I think it's time to move forward, even if the end result is to get it into the hands of a nonprofit.
Which would be my hope.
Yes.
Yeah. A historical organization, we have several of them in Kerrville.
I mean, I think that we can get a decent appraisal based on, you can't even drive up that mountain in a car. You have to walk it. So it's not useful land for anything other than the graves that sit up there right now. But I certainly think that people in the community, including myself, would like to go up there and visit it.
Joe said you can call him, he'll take you up there.
Yeah, I'll tour guide.
You got a key?
There's actually a gap in the fence.
Oh,
All right,
I agree with what Paul's been said. I'm not disagreeing with Mr. McKinney, but we've got to do something like Councilmember Hughes just said as well. And, the main thing I'm seeing in here is continuing, because we have been maintaining that property for, not trying to date you, Dr. Rector, but 65 plus years.
Yeah.
So it's,
few people realize that Dr. Rector graduated from Tybee when he's only 10 years old.
Wonder genius.
Okay, we have motion second. We've had discussion. Are y'all ready for a vote? Okay, all in favor, so vote.
We have to have a roll call vote, sir?
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Thank you.
Councilmember Sigerman? Councilmember Harris?
yes.
Mayor Herring?
Yes.
Councilmember McKinney?
No.
Councilmember Hughes?
Yes.
So we still have steps to go, and we will probably visit this several more times. Thank you for your work. All right, the next item is resolution number 40-2025. Mr. Hayes? No, I'm sorry. I can't seem to follow an agenda tonight. We're at 6C, proposed contract between the City of Kerrville and baseball firm, Mr. Brimhall.
And
Laura?
we do have one citizen speaker.
Who's going to start? Are you going to start, Mr.?
I'm going to start. Mr. Brimhall had been on vacation until yesterday.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Came back, yes.
We're going to put this on him first day back. So thank y'all for taking the time. This is about the management of the Kerrville Sports Complex, the baseball and softball side of it. And so as y'all recall, the previous meeting, we selected a group whose name is now kind of in process or finalized. The baseball firm finalized with the Secretary of State's office. And so part of the ownership group is here. Mr. Junker and his team are here. Tonight we're going to go through a little bit of presentation, go through kind of the changes to the contract. So the structure of it is proposed to be just about the same as the one that we looked at in 22, the amended contract for DBAT. We'll go through changes in term, rent, a couple other substantial items, but by and large, it's not too much of a deviation from that previous one. And so, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, I will go through that, and then if Mr. Junker or anyone from his team has something they'd like to say, turn it over to them, and then move on for questions. Okay, so it is essentially, we haven't had time to type everything up, finalize everything. We're still negotiating some of the deal points. Most of it's tied around insurance and some of the default provisions. Does the language match and make sense given the changes that we're talking about in the rental structures and in the terms? And so Jay and Mr. Junker are going to continue those conversations. But the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, we're ready to kind of talk through. There's too many words, and I don't like using this much in these presentations, so I apologize for that. But kind of a side-by-side comparison, starting with the top, what's the management structure of it? So the previous management structure was BTP Baseball, a franchise of DBAT, and they ran both the indoor and the outdoor facility. So they did the pitching machines and the coaching and all the rest of it, and then they also ran all the tournaments. The structure that's proposed for us to change to is for the baseball firm and Mr. Junker's team to oversee the tournaments and sublease to DBAT Corporate, basically the ownership group of DBAT who started it, which is down in Bernie, for them to manage the indoor portion of it, bring it up to the standard that DBAT has, and they manage that. So Mr. Junker's group, baseball firm, they would oversee the tournaments and the outdoor facilities. And again, DBAT, which it's different than DBAT. It's hard to say it that way, right? So it's just a different management structure, right? That would operate that indoor facility. So that's a big difference because I think it's hard when you're just one entity having to do both. It gets stretched pretty thin trying to manage all that. So the term for the previous contract, it was renegotiated for an initial 3-year term, and as y'all know, we didn't extend that past the initial term for that. This proposed term for the group coming up is a 5-year initial term with 2 3-year options. The rent on the last one was real hard to kind of wrap my head around. It was past performance, right? So in the previous 12 months, did you have tournaments come through? And if you did, you didn't have to pay any rent next year. That came to a head this year because there was no tournaments and then there was no recourse, right? We had 3 different solicitations, had various conversations about, how would a rent structure work, what would make sense, and what's offered by the group here is for year 1 rent to be a guaranteed dollar amount for 9 months, starting in March and going to November. So $2,500 a month. They'll operate it the whole year, but rent coming in those months. Remembering we didn't get rent at all previously. And then in year 2, that bumps up to 3,000 a month. In year 3, for 9 months again. And then in year 3, it's all year for 3,000 a month. And then in year 4, negotiate, because that gives them some time to kind of get their business plan up and running. How is it working? Are things going the right way? And at year 4 gives us the opportunity to kind of renegotiate. Is there some profit sharing? Are there some other mechanisms? Do we have some money that we can pump deeper into CIP for this facility? Because it's a lot of CIP in this facility. This is a big sunken cost in a lot of this. Going further, tournament minimums were $400 a year for the rent abatement. They assume that because it's so far into this year, they still think they can get 300 tournaments for this year, but following that in the second year, have at least 400.
300 teams, right?
300 teams. Did I say tournaments? Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
300 tournaments in year 1, and then only 4 in year. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you, George.
400 teams, right? And 4 stay-and-play tournaments. Those were kind of the rules in the previous contract. And so in year 2, they plan to get to that 4 stay-and-plays and at least 400 tournament teams. Thank you. Words matter. So in the previous contract, the DBAT hours, they're kind of different every town you go to. I looked at a bunch of DBAT hours. We're still working that through, and they're still talking that through with the DBAT folks, but they'll be standard hours that you would see for a business. So the difference between DBAT Bernie and DBAT here was ours were 2 o'clock on Monday through Friday, and they started at 12. I think it's a function of how many people you know are going to walk through the door and whether it's worth it to keep the lights on starting at noon versus 2. So not much different there. In the Kerrville Little League, use of the fields. So in the previous contract, March through June, the Little League was required to give 6 weeks notice for scheduling of the fields. Mr. Junker has been working with the Little League, kind of talking through the schedule for the season. We said that it's vitally important that Kerrville Little League feels embraced by this change and that we make this work. There's a request from the operator to exclude Little League games on Fridays when they have tournaments coming up the next day. Lots of trash. It's kind of a complicated dance to get it turned over from a Friday night to a Saturday morning, and our staff isn't there. We're not a weekend crew. We're there Monday through Friday, and then when there's tournaments on the weekend, it is their responsibility, but it's kind of our responsibility to have it ready to go for Saturday morning. And so they're talking through that, and they haven't finalized those discussions. And I think they want to have the Little League out there and practice more out at the fields, if they're willing to do that. And in addition to that, they'd offered that they'd be willing to put some coaching clinics on and some kid clinics on for everybody who's part of the Little League as well. Change here, which is not, it makes sense to me. It's frustrating for me, but it also makes sense to me because I wouldn't want to take on an 8-year-old HVAC or electrical system. And so they have asked that we take that on. And we said, yes, we can do that. We're going to need some pretty detailed monthly maintenance records. You know, here's the schedules for filter maintenance. Here's the schedule for running this, doing this, making sure that those things are good to go moving forward. And Jay and his team are they're going to be out Thursday to go take a look at the conditions, tomorrow to go take a look at the conditions of the facility. And then one of the bigger changes is the reporting requirements previously were just vague. They were just kind of generic. It wasn't really in depth. We didn't ask a lot, and they gave what they were asked. And so it really isn't robust enough to get a good understanding. Are people staying in the hotels? Where are they staying? What block of rooms were booked? You know, were folks, I don't know, there's a million pieces of economic data that we can ask for that they can provide. And a lot of that is in the partnership with CVB. And so part of those requirements is meeting with CVB monthly, in addition to meeting with staff, coming to see you all quarterly or annual, I don't know, we'll figure that out, quarterly or annually as what they've done previously, to kind of report how things are going and just keep us all abreast of what's happening. Okay, so with that, I can go back to any of those points, but the recommendation from staff is that y'all authorize the city manager to execute and finalize the contract between the baseball firm. But again, that's our recommendation.
Can I ask a few questions now?
Please do.
So I played a lot of softball in my young adult life and even after I was out of high school. And so we played a lot of evening games and tournaments. Sometimes Saturday games weren't over at 6, you know, and if we have we have lighted fields, right? So
We do.
I know you're working all these out. I don't expect that you'll know if you have a demand for it even yet. But I'd hope so, because that's heads and beds too, because you'll have tournaments that don't end in time. Some take buses and go home at midnight, but you might also have some that fundraised enough to have a hotel room for the team, So that is something I noticed that I didn't see any hint of evening practices or games or anything. but-
So most of it will be in the evening.
Oh, okay.
And the lights are definitely a part of that. We have it in the contract.
Okay, good.
I'll remember to put that in next time, because I didn't think about that being substantial, but.
I remember many nights not being, done at 6,
So during the weekdays, we have it in the contract that the lights would go off at 10 and then at 11 on the weekends,
Okay.
unless there's exigent circumstances that require them to keep them on a little later. Just because you don't want the neighbors to get too angry at the lights being on so late, but there's definitely a
Yeah, I
lot of night
understand.
games.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited.
I'll listen to the citizen speaker, then make some comments.
Any questions for Mr. Hornis? All right.
The contract from previous operations was pretty inadequate to his purpose, apparently.
Yes, sir. I would say as far as, clawbacks for us and, like I said, we were paid in arrears.
Right.
And the
No,
last year.
And that wasn't the only thing. So you've mentioned several things here really about the contract that was not so good. So, and so these things kind of stand out, but do we need to review any more of that contract to if it was that poorly written in the beginning, or do we need to invest a little more effort into making sure the rest of you identified several things.
Well, I think those were policy determinations more than anything else. Part of it is who's watching it, Granted, the folks in the previous contract weren't going to meet with the CBB on a monthly basis, but were we checking, right? We needed to be doing that as well and pushing a little harder on that. We took some assumptions that acting in the way they ought to be, and I think the previous management group was just spread too thin to be able to accommodate all that. But I don't think so, sir, but that's y'all's purview.
Well, it's pretty obvious the contract didn't represent our side of the agreement very well.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Hornis? Who's our citizen speaker?
George Baruti?
Mr. Brody?
And we have Mr. Junker is here as well from.
Good. I'll listen to Mr. Brody.
George Brody, 1616 Glen Road. So the first thing is, he's talking about a contract I emailed earlier today. I assume you guys have seen it, but it's not in the, you haven't? Okay, so I'm a little confused by the action that's supposed to happen tonight. I would strongly urge you not to do just, hey, go negotiate and execute something without it coming back here. Kind of for the reasons that Mr. McKinney talked about. The contract that was being used was the second iteration, and when that was being presented at that time, everybody was being told this is good, we're all on board, we're gonna be able to check this out and all that kind of stuff. And so, like I said, I would urge you not to be giving direction to just go off and finalize a contract, maybe go off and negotiate one that's coming back. Okay, that's fine. Question about what was shown though, as far as the rent. I gathered they're supposed to be subleasing to someone to do the building. I know they said DBAT, but it really doesn't matter. The point is that rent that's being quoted for the fields and the building, and then whatever they can get for rent on the building is free to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess the high number I saw was $3,000 a month. And so that's what they're gonna pay the city. Do they then go charge DBAT whatever they want and theoretically get their rent paid? Or is the DBAT renting of the building also being paid to the city?
The contract is gonna be between the baseball firm and the city, and so they're subletting
Right.
that to DBAT to run and operate. So
Okay,
the
so-
fees that we would get are
So
solely.
theoretically, they're gonna be installed in a potentially no rent situation as long as they can get someone to pay rent at the building that's comparable, right?
In
I
addition
mean,
to.
as far as the city's concerned, right?
This is a very basic way of looking at running the whole complex.
Well, it's what it boiled down to in the previous contract. So I'm just getting at what the possibilities are. I'm not saying they have
Sure.
to do that. But the city only cares about the $3,000. What they do with the
We
rest of
care
the
about the tournaments coming through, that's what we care about.
Okay, that's not what I mean.
It costs $55,000 a month to run the sports complex. It's not a,
Correct.
You're not
So
gonna-
all we're gonna
not
get,
making money
all
off
we're gonna get in return for that is $3,000, right?
no, you're gonna get tournament play, you're gonna get people staying in hotels, you're gonna get people
Directly
spending
into the
money.
coffers of the government is gonna be the $3,000 a month plus any sales tax percent of those people.
Goes into the coffers of the government too.
All right, I said plus those sales tax, and if you book those numbers, it's not gonna cover the cost of the expense. It's not gonna be a,
Well, this would have been a conversation for 2018, prior to the sports complex being created, sir.
what now?
That ship's already sailed.
Okay, we're not even talking the same conversation, so I just.
I'm gonna stop answering the
Yeah,
questions.
because,
until you
I'm sorry, it's just not, that's not what I was asking. Bottom line is, what I was saying is essentially, there isn't a contract in front of you, the public hasn't seen it, this has been a albatross around our neck for a long time. I think it's fair to say the public ought to see it before it's officially signed. We don't have to be involved in the negotiation, but we ought to at least be able to look at it, because this has been fumbled a number of times, and to the detriment of our city, because bottom line is, we're still gonna maintain, the city is still gonna maintain this complex. It's still gonna be $600,000 a year, give or take. And all we're gonna get back is a really small amount. That may be all we ever get back, okay, but let's shoot straight with it. It's just gonna be a lost deal. So anyways, thanks.
Of course.
Okay, at our meeting this morning with Mr. Rice, and my notes here say exactly, I had asked him this very question. We will see the, prior to execution, this contract. So even though that wasn't spoken tonight, I just want you to know, I did ask, and I'm sure others have as well. We're gonna look at it before this is a done deal. I'm sure, I trust that they will get it in order, but we will have a look at it, so.
Any other citizen speakers?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Junker? And others?
Mayor Herring, council members, I'm John Junker, and this is Jeff Quillen. Nico Gonzalez couldn't be here tonight. He planned on it, they were pregnant and their baby was born very prematurely at 1.5 pounds. So
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my. He's dealing with that, but, you know, we're really looking forward to changing the course of the sports complex. I know it's a lot of work and there's a lot of things we need to do. We definitely understand and what we're charged with the community aspect of the sports complex, Little League and organizations that use it. We're going to be working through those. Talked to Sarah Zimmerman. We're going to meet with the board once we get the agreements wrapped up. Julie Davis and Aaron, I've got a meeting with them a week from Friday with the CVB and really focusing on the things that haven't happened in the past. And, you know, Jeff's got 22 years in select baseball experience. Nico's been here. I think with the right team, I think Nico will flourish wasn't a great situation he was in the past years. And then with partnering with Five Tool, which has a great name in youth baseball, I think there's good things ahead. And, you know, it's been great to work with Mr. Brimhall and Mr. Horns through this. So we've got a lot of work to do, but we're looking forward to changing the course there and getting teams out there and changing the economic impact that hasn't been done in the past.
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you, Mayor, thank you, Counselor, for, letting us speak again and letting us present to you guys everything that we think that we can do to make you guys proud of DBAT Kerrville. As I spoke to you last time, we've held tournaments out here in the past. It's a beautiful city. People love to come here. It's a community that has a lot to offer. And so I think that, opening it up to the Little League, opening it up and making it part of the community and making people feel like it's part of the community and give back to the community from it. Really looking forward to hopefully being able to work inside this community with everybody. So thank you again for being here, or letting us be here.
Thank you.
So, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Did you have something, Jeff?
Not really about I don't have a question. It's just, it's been an ongoing deal. Knowing the history behind and researching Five Tool after Mr. Junker asked me to have lunch and talk to him about it, and his past experience as the general manager for a minor league team up in Cleburne. It's the knowledge and the expertise is here, and I have no doubts this is going to be amazing for Kerrville and get us back to where we need to be. And I think the first thing that I told Mr. Junker in our meeting was heads in beds, because that hadn't happened. And that's when he said we're going to have outside tournaments and they're going to stay, and part of the deal. And thank you for working with Julie over there, because that's key. But I applaud y'all and thank y'all for stepping up to take over and help, and also work with our Little League, because that is huge in Kerrville.
Comments?
No. But the resolution is saying that we just authorize the city manager, and Delaine's saying we're gonna get it back, so what's gonna happen?
So one of the ways that we could do that is we could, basically negotiate the contract. If y'all say, negotiate and execute, we can negotiate the contract. I can BCC, send y'all the agreement, so y'all can put feedback in on what y'all want to do, and then we can execute it. Otherwise, it won't be until January 13th that this would get executed.
I think we have a duty to review the contract before execution. I don't think we have to spend a lot of time on it, and I think we can even do that by email. But
As long as it's not all on the same email.
yeah, we can't
Correct. So as an individual one, y'all can review it
and reply
make comments.
to one person, not to everyone. I was not involved with city government when this all started, and I know it's an opportunity for our community that's just has not been realized. Y'all are being charged to make that opportunity for Kerrville come true, and I think you both seem to be willing to do that. What we need from this facility is kids having safe fun, yes, but also revenue. Not rent revenue as much as hotel hot money, hotel occupancy tax, and also sales tax. This needs to be a reason people come to Kerrville. Our river was the main reason people came to Kerrville. And a lot of people aren't going to come to the river right now. So we need people to come. And really, y'all are being charged with a big carry. So I hope you understand that, and that it's reflected in the contract that's negotiated.
So we got time pressure about getting something signed before the next
understand.
council meeting.
Is that true?
Technically the contract ends, the current one ends December 31st. You know, and for the reassurance of them. So, I mean, it could wait until January 13th.
I think my sense that everybody's pretty enthused about who we have as new managers of the facility. I don't think, it's a question of, you know, it's just more of a question of approving the final product, I think. And even if it took a special meeting that took 5 minutes or something, we could maybe do that if we had to do it ahead of that time. I mean, I'm just throwing out
Well,
options.
Yeah, and then if you, help us with, highlighting the most important, I mean, the areas of concern and interest.
Really everything in the presentation itself is pretty much what we're, looking at. So when we look at scope of work, that's really the operational side, of it. So everything that Michael presented this evening is ultimately what, what we're looking at, moving forward. With, we'll call it the high level things. There might be some small in the weeds details on a few things, but not substantial in nature.
So how much more is required to finalize the contract?
I mean, we have to put the contract together, which again, most of the scope of work is gonna be in this, in the presentation here. And then whatever, really is negotiated, we can communicate that through, email. So it's really whatever council feels comfortable with.
I feel comfortable making the motion for you to negotiate and finalize the contract with the caveat that it's sent to council individually so we can reply with our responses.
I guess it'd just be upon final review by council.
It can be individual.
Individual. So,
I have time before the end of the month. I can't travel as often as some and be in town.
get stuck.
Right, so is there a motion?
I will make the motion to authorize the city manager to finalize and execute an agreement with the baseball firm LP with final approval by council. Is that right, Mike?
Well, that's gonna create some confusion because execute means you're finalizing it.
And you're done.
You're approving it.
Well,
Two parties are gonna sign it.
To negotiate and finalize an agreement for us to review and approve.
I mean, really here, and how I kind of view this is very simple. Y'all trust me to negotiate and do it. If y'all say, hey, I want to review this before executing the contract, and I go and execute the contract that y'all authorized me to do, that's an issue that obviously city council would be able to take up with me. So y'all are trusting the fact that I can negotiate and I can go and execute it, but I want to communicate, effectively with y'all.
Well, Dalton, I trust you emphatically, you know that. I think all the council does. I don't want to speak on it. But also, as our responsibility, I think that we should see the contract
Oh, agreed.
and have the opportunity to look at it before it's executed or finalized or whatever you want to call it, however we want to word it. But, so I guess I'm kind of,
It's hard to put into words,
Let's just
actually.
do it
I
January
understand what
13th.
he's
Let's just make it
saying.
easy. Let's just do it January 13th, and that way we alleviate any confusion. The public can get it, and we'll just do it January 13th. The small 2-week gap on it is not going to make that big of a difference.
does that time frame work for you gentlemen? January 13th? Because your first term is what, the 15th?
Well, is that gonna affect a tournament, though?
The quicker we can go, the quicker we.
I didn't know that.
Here's the holdup. Me dealing with Five Tool, I need to meet with them next Monday statewide. And to do that, I need to be able to say whether this is gonna be a viable option for tournaments because of the impact that's going on in San Antonio right now. There is a massive opportunity to execute this type of field and be able to present it to a lot of teams that have never seen it and a lot of teams that would use it. So I will talk to them next Monday in Dripping Springs at 11:30, but I won't be able to tell them that I can guarantee that field until I can tell them the truth.
Until you can, yeah.
So I can go to that meeting and be as upfront and honest as I can, but I can't tell them that I have
Right.
that field in use if we don't have it in use.
But you won't have a contract by then either.
Potentially not, that's right.
I mean, because it hadn't been drawn
That's right.
and negotiated, so even by, but that's, so.
Well, I'd rather not be slowing things down, but, so,
I think we have a motion. And that motion is basically, I'm not trying to put words, I'm gonna try to
Help me out.
rephrase it. That the city council authorized the city manager to negotiate and finalize a contract subject to review by the city council
so we,
before execution.
so we take that to mean that he'd at least send us a copy.
Correct.
And we can, and look
Give
at
input.
it.
Give
And he
input.
can judge from our feedback how to proceed.
That sound fair, Dalton?
So he gets feedback from us,
However y'all want to do it, council.
Right.
okay?
I like that. It might expedite the process too. But it depends on staff on how fast we can get the contract done, so. Thank you for clarifying my gibberish.
I don't know that
We'll
I
do what we
did.
can.
So we have a
That was my
motion.
motion.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. It passes unanimously. Thank you. To surprise everyone, I'm going to call the next item as 6D, because I've been calling the wrong next item the whole evening. Mr. Hornes, are you up?
Mr. Mayor, I've got Kurt Griffin here from Kerrville Airport here tonight with a request to purchase a tractor. And I'll let you, I'm not going to steal all your words here.
That's okay.
This was an item that was before the county commissioners, and it's coming before you tonight because it's something that's over $75,000, which is the threshold where both the owners have to review and approve that. County Commission asked for some more documentation, and for the airport to bring that back at their next meeting, which is going to be in a week.
It'll actually be in January.
In January.
Because I'm gone.
Okay.
So.
And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Griffin.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for y'all's time. This item is something that's kind of, let me give you a little backstory. For about the previous 30-plus years, the airport has been contracting the large mowing out at the airport. That effort typically costs somewhere in the last 5 years in the $50,000 a year range by the time we get to the end of the year. Started looking at over the summer because we had, in June, I showed up in office in May. In June, we had expended our $48,000. So we have not mowed the large areas of the airport since June. Had a lot of rain, had a lot of growth. That growth is now harboring small animals, which are detrimental to aircraft, including deer. We're finding more and more all the time. We're also having a large activity of predatory birds. We're getting a lot of beautiful looking hawks and that kind of thing, which are also not good with aircraft. That being said, we went and got bids, looked at the return on investment of purchasing our own hardware and operating the equipment ourselves in-house. That showed about a 3.5-year ROI to do that. We used Sourcewell approved vendors to get those bids, presented all 3 of those bids to our independent airport board. The airport board said, yea, verily, this is a smart thing and smart thing economically for us to do. I don't have enough money in my budget to finance the tractor and the shredder entirely in one buy. We decided, I presented to my board and decided to come forward with a lease buy option of 48-month lease with a $1 purchase at the end of that lease. That exposes you guys to the issue. Why I really need to come talk to you is because for 4 years, I'm going to expose you guys to a $1,000 a month lease, essentially. That if I don't pay,
they're gonna come, your 50/50 half would be $1,000 a month. As I said, I've got, the purchase price, we got 3 bids in. Purchase price of the tractor was right at $90,000. We've got operating costs and insurance to pay, so that's why we're looking at a 3.5-year return. We would like to press forward and sign the lease with John Deere on this. We chose the John Deere also because the county maintenance supports a lot of John Deere equipment presently, so that if we had an issue that came up over the time, we would, at least if the warranties were out and that kind of stuff, we'd have some local expertise to help us along. That's where we are. So I'm not asking for any money. I'm asking for you guys to expose yourself to $1,000 a month for 4 years.
So I'm sorry, I'm confused. You lease a piece of equipment.
It's a lease purchase.
It is.
Yes, sir.
It still belongs to the lessor.
Yes, sir.
And so they have to maintain it, correct?
For those 4 years, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I didn't understand. If it's
Yeah.
out of warranty, well, it's their.
It's their
problem.
equipment, right, correct. And we've negotiated of 500 hours a year. We're looking at probably about 200 hours on the tractor. So we're well below what any kickoffs would be to that we would owe monies or anything like that.
I learned from my dad, it's very relaxing to mow.
It is terribly relaxing, yes, sir.
Hard on your
Yes,
back,
sir.
though.
And this one will be air conditioned and heated, so.
I didn't have that.
I didn't either.
And my lines weren't straight either.
No, I understand.
All right, any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
So the airport is a separate entity? So why would the city and county be obligated? I mean, just because owners are not, of corporations are not obligated for the corporation's debts, why would we be?
So this is the first time that the airport is going to enter into a lease, in my understanding of the history of the airport. And so because you are the owners, from a fiduciary standpoint, it opens us up to.
Well, that they're their own entity. Only we're not guaranteeing their lease.
You're the owners of the airport. Yes, sir,
Well,
you are.
No, but we're not guaranteeing the lease. They can get their own lease.
Well, the requirement says that anything over $75,000 requires your permission.
Well, what does the law say about the owner's obligation of the entity's debt?
Wow.
I can only tell you what the laws that y'all create.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I have no idea, sir.
No owner is obligated for a corporation's debt. It's specifically, I mean, that's common.
I understand your statement.
So I don't
I'm
understand how
just-
we'd be obligated. So there's some old agreement. Anyway, we don't need to be dealing with this, $75,000. Oh, I know, but it could be changed.
Yeah, right.
That's why I'm just saying, we shouldn't be dealing with this, and we should change so that we don't deal with this. And I'd have to be shown some kind of documentation other than we asked them to get our permission, but I don't see how John Deere can come after an owner. They got an entity to look at, and they can sue the entity.
That's a true statement.
And we can do what we want about bailing them out or not. They can repossess the equipment, they can do whatever they want, but I don't think we're obligated. But that's neither here nor there. We really need to not have these things come here. We need to, whatever that gets started, I think we need to, because
They got their own entity, they got their own board, we don't need to be making $75,000 decisions for them.
Well, that's a conversation that if the council wants to entertain about updating the interlocal
Let's
agreement.
put that on the agenda if we need it there. That's,
I'm more than willing to
Yeah.
discuss that, yes, sir. And I understand where you're coming from, sir. I'm just.
I know,
I'm just
so
going off
somebody
the
set it up
interlocals,
this
so-
way, but I don't think you
Yes, sir.
have to have it that way.
Yes, sir.
And I don't
understand.
think they legally can come after an owner.
I don't think they would either.
Well, I
So-
don't think that would happen, but main thing we need to stop is you coming here for $75,000.
I appreciate that, but it's good to see you guys.
So under the, if I'm understanding correctly, Mr. Hayes, under the current interlocal agreement, he's required to come and talk to us.
Yes.
If we want to change the interlocal agreement, that's another conversation.
That's right. Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. And that's why I'm here.
Thank
I
you.
would move to approve.
All right, say, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. Thank you for sitting through a long meeting.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, I can add an item to your future agenda that Kirk will be coming back with a budget amendment from the airport at the next city council meeting.
I'm aware.
I have to move money out of a revenue account into a capital.
And we can talk about all that in the new year.
Thank you, good.
So you'll
Thank-
see me for that, but
Thank
that's
you.
it. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, good to see you.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, we have some board appointments to make. First one is 7A, Planning and Zoning. Who was the interview team on this?
Myself and Councilmember Hughes.
Recommendation?
We do. I spoke to both applicants. One is a reappointment, Mr. Abram Boucher, and he said he'd be honored for another term. The other applicant is Katie Howard Thompson, and she has applied for other boards, but this one seems to fit.
Yeah.
So I would make the motion to reappoint Abram Boucher and appoint Katie Howard Thompson.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. We did contact Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
All right, good. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. And they are hereby appointed. 7B, appointment to the Recovery Community Coalition. Who was the interview team?
Myself and Kent McKinney, I did make a call to, I reached out to the two eligible reappointments, which is Randy Benno and Dale Trees, both interested in being reappointed. But we have one new person, Julie Ortiz, because we have 3 vacancies. She would be a new member. I read her application. I reached out to Randy and Dale, and they both said she would be a great addition to the Recovery Board. So I'd like to recommend that we reappoint Randy Benno, reappoint Dale Trees, and now appoint Julie Ortiz.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. And they are hereby appointed. Item 7C, I understand you have a list for us. Appointment for the Texas Commission of Arts and Cultural Arts District Committee. Ms. Siegerman.
As of tonight, I'd like to appoint these members to the board that we are forming. Myself, Delane Sigerman, the chair, Catherine Boyette, Community Arts Program Director, the vice chair, Jeffrey Brown, Director of Playhouse 2000, Jill, you don't have to write all that down, but I have a list, Shelley, so. Jill Drake, she's a Main Street Board member, Holly White Garrett, Director of Hill Country ITA, Michelle Gray, Main Street Board member, Angela Kennedy, Director of Heart of the Hills Heritage Center, Stacy LaPrati, Director of Arcadia Live, Howard Taylor, Retired Art Director, and he's also our Main Street Chair, Lon Zatig, Director of Kerr Arts and Culture Center, and Gina Tier, broker with 4 properties. John Rivenberg has great Texas Commission on the Arts experience. He's also on our board. And that's it, and I have a list, typed out correct spelling, and
You're making that as a motion then?
I'm making that as a motion.
Is there a
that we
second?
appoint them.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, so vote. They are hereby appointed. There's no need to go into executive session. Are there any items for future agendas?
What, their local agreement?
Let's at least review the interlocal agreement on the airport. That involves the county as well, so we're not the sole
Right.
driver there. I'm happy to have that for a future agenda. Any other future agendas? All right. At 8:28, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting and wish everyone a very Merry Christmas.
Yes. And you know.
Good job tonight.